Imagine dedicating 25 years of your life to an empire, enduring brutal campaigns, harsh climates, and constant danger, all for the promise of a secure future. This wasn't a hypothetical for millions of men, it was the reality of serving in the Roman legions. But what did that quarter-century of unwavering loyalty and bloodshed actually buy you? Forget the Hollywood glamour, the financial reality for a Roman soldier was a complex web of modest pay, significant deductions, and a deferred dream of retirement. Many joined for the lure of stability, the chance to rise above rural poverty, or the sheer adventure. They marched thousands of miles, built roads, forts, and bridges, and fought battles that shaped the course of Western civilization. But beneath the gleaming armor and disciplined ranks, lay a system of compensation that would surprise many today. Was it a fair deal? And more importantly, was it enough to truly secure a comfortable retirement after 2.5 decades of relentless service to the Eagle? Let's start with the basics, the initial pay. During the early Principate, a legionary's annual salary was roughly 225 denarii. To put that into perspective, a denarius was a silver coin, roughly equivalent to a day's wages for a skilled laborer. So, 225 denarii might seem like a decent sum, but this was gross pay, not what actually landed in the soldier's pouch. This initial figure remained relatively stable for a long time, suggesting a carefully managed economic policy by the emperors. However, the purchasing power of this amount fluctuated dramatically over centuries, influenced by inflation and the availability of goods. It was the foundation, but a foundation constantly shifting under the feet of the common soldier. Many recruits, often from poorer agricultural backgrounds, saw even this basic pay as a significant improvement over their civilian prospects, offering a regular income, something rare for many in the ancient world. Now, for the crucial part, deductions. Roman soldiers weren't just given their pay outright, a significant portion was withheld for essentials. This included deductions for food, clothing, and equipment. Think of it as an early form of mandatory savings and supply management. While specific percentages varied, it's estimated that a soldier might see up to half, or even more, of their basic pay disappear before they even touched it. This system ensured that legionaries were always properly equipped and fed, but it also meant their disposable income was severely limited. This was a double-edged sword. On one hand, it prevented immediate squandering of funds, on the other, it left soldiers with very little cash in hand for personal expenses, leisure, or sending home to their families. It reinforced their dependency on the army for all their fundamental needs. Beyond their regular pay, soldiers often received donatives, special bonuses from the emperor, usually upon his ascension or after significant victories. These were crucial. A donative could sometimes equal several years of a soldier's basic pay, offering a much-needed financial boost. For example, after the death of Augustus, Tiberius gave each Praetorian guard 5,000 denarii and each legionary 3,000 denarii. While not a regular income, these windfalls were eagerly anticipated and could significantly alter a soldier's financial standing, allowing them to clear debts, purchase land, or send substantial sums back to their families. However, donatives were entirely at the emperor's discretion, making them unpredictable but deeply impactful when they did occur, often solidifying loyalty to the current ruler. The legionaries' experience wasn't static, their financial situation evolved over time. By the time of Domitian in the late 1st century AD, annual pay had risen to 300 denarii. Septimius Severus, a soldier emperor himself, further increased it to 500 denarii by the early 3rd century. These increases were often in response to inflation, the growing cost of living, and the need to maintain troop morale and recruitment. However, these nominal increases didn't always translate into a better quality of life due to the concurrent devaluation of coinage and rising prices for goods. A higher numerical salary might still mean less purchasing power, leading to a constant struggle for soldiers to keep pace with economic changes, underscoring the complexities of imperial finance. Life for a Roman soldier wasn't just about fighting, it was also about logistics and survival. They often had opportunities to earn extra income through various means. Soldiers engaged in construction projects, built infrastructure, and even worked on military farms, sometimes receiving additional payments or rations for these tasks. Furthermore, looting after successful campaigns, though officially discouraged at times, was an undeniable reality and could provide significant, albeit illicit, gains. While not part of their official paycheck, these informal avenues contributed to their overall economic standing. This supplemental income was vital for many, providing the means to acquire small luxuries, make investments, or simply supplement their meager official disposable income, reflecting the practical realities of military life. After 25 long years, the ultimate prize awaited, the discharge bonus, or premia militiae. This was the true incentive for enduring decades of hardship. Early on, soldiers might receive a parcel of land upon retirement, allowing them to become farmers and contributing to the Romanization of conquered territories. However, by the time of Augustus, cash payments became the norm. A veteran could expect a substantial sum, often 12,000 denarii, equivalent to over 15 years of basic pay at the time. This was a life-changing amount, designed to provide economic security in old age, a reward for their unwavering service and a crucial component of the army's recruitment strategy. This pension was a key motivator, a light at the end of a very long and dangerous tunnel, ensuring loyalty and continued enlistment. To fund these significant retirement bonuses, Augustus established the aerarium militare, a military treasury. This was funded by new taxes, specifically a 5% inheritance tax and a 1% sales tax. This innovative financial mechanism ensured a stable source of income for veterans' pensions, separating it from the emperor's personal treasury and providing greater reliability. It represented a sophisticated understanding of long-term military finance, recognizing that a professional standing army required a dedicated and sustainable funding source for its veterans. This institutionalized approach to pensions was revolutionary, demonstrating Rome's commitment to its soldiers beyond their active service, and highlighting the empire's administrative prowess in managing such a vast and vital institution. However, the value of the discharge bonus, like regular pay, was not immune to economic forces. Over time, the purchasing power of that 12,000 denarii fluctuated dramatically due to inflation and the debasement of currency. While still a significant sum, it might not have stretched as far for a veteran retiring in the 3rd century as it did for one retiring under Augustus. The empire's financial stability was in constant flux, and soldiers, despite their promised rewards, often found themselves facing the same economic pressures as civilians. This meant that while the nominal amount might have remained constant or even increased, the real-world value of their pension could diminish, adding an element of uncertainty to their post-service plans, a harsh reality of a changing empire. Let's consider the total financial picture over 25 years. A legionary serving under Augustus, for example, would have earned approximately 5,625 denarii in basic pay, 225 denarii x 25 years. Add to that potential donatives, which could vary wildly, but let's conservatively estimate a couple of significant ones totaling maybe 3,000 to 5,000 denarii. Then, the grand finale, the 12,000 denarii discharge bonus. This brings the total gross earnings to somewhere in the range of 20,000 to 22,000 denarii over a quarter century. This sum, while impressive, had to cover decades of living expenses, personal purchases, and often, support for a family. It was a substantial investment by the empire in its fighting force, but also a calculation that demanded significant sacrifice from the individual soldier. Comparatively, what could this money buy? The 12,000 denarii pension under Augustus could purchase a respectable plot of land, possibly enough to support a small family farm, or a house in a provincial town. For those living a more urban life, it could be invested in a small business or used to secure a comfortable, if not lavish, retirement. However, the value of land and goods varied significantly across the vast Roman Empire. In some areas, it might have meant true prosperity, in others, merely a comfortable existence. It was designed to ensure that veterans did not become a burden on society and instead contributed to the stability and economic life of the empire, becoming productive citizens in their post-military life, often in newly Romanized territories. Ultimately, the Roman soldier's paycheck was a carefully constructed system designed to attract recruits, maintain loyalty, and ensure the long-term viability of the empire's military. It wasn't about getting rich quick, it was about stability, security, and a promise of a future after years of arduous service. Despite the deductions, the inflation, and the fluctuating value of their earnings, the appeal of a guaranteed income and a substantial pension remained a powerful draw for millions. For many, it represented the best chance at a life free from destitution, a pathway to social mobility, and a profound sense of purpose. It was a testament to Rome's ingenuity in managing its most vital resource, its dedicated and disciplined fighting force. So, was 25 years of service worth it? For many, undoubtedly yes. It offered a route out of poverty, a sense of belonging, and the promise of a secure retirement, even if that promise sometimes felt like it was shifting sands. The Roman soldier's paycheck wasn't just a financial transaction, it was a societal contract, a foundational pillar of an empire that lasted for centuries. It highlights the complex interplay between imperial power, economic realities, and the individual lives of those who served. Understanding their financial journey provides a deeper appreciation for the sacrifices and motivations that built and sustained one of history's most enduring empires. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the economics of ancient Rome. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below.